Oh, and he loses the game. Wait. Oh, because he's at 1 HP. Oh, sweet. Yeah, we'll take that. Alright, perfect. And he dies to the house spider, just as the deck was intended to do. Hey everyone, Raptor Spank here with another Stiff Brew, the show where I build a deck around a fringe or unorthodox card. This deck is built around the Noxus card Battering Ram. So our deck starts with 3 copies of Battering Ram, a 6-cost 0/12 with Overwhelm, and when it attacks, grant me +4/+0. Basically, this card is just a massive body with a great keyword, so it's durable and threatening. Your opponent can't just chump block it because it has Overwhelm, and after only 1 to 2 attacks, it starts becoming a real threat. The basic idea and concept of this deck is that we want to get this card onto the battlefield and then attack with it as many times as possible. So let's start with the champion package. We have 3 copies of Lucian, the 2-cost 3/2 with quick attack champion from Demacia. He levels up when he's seen 4+ allies died or 1 allied Senna die, and then he becomes a 4/3 with double attack, and the first time per round an ally dies, he rallies. His champion spell is Lucian's Relentless Pursuit, a 3-cost fast spell that just rallies. Basically, his idea here with Lucian in the deck is to make an engine for lots of attacks. Basically, we'll have a lot of cheap creatures that we want to get out and then either chump block with them or attack aggressively so our opponent has to block them and level up our Lucian as fast as possible. That way, all of our cheap creatures dying from that point on will trigger his rally, and then we can keep attacking with Battering Ram. In addition to this, his champion spell is just perfect. It's another Relentless Pursuit for the deck, so if I have Lucian on the battlefield and Lucian in hand, that's an extra attack for a Battering Ram. He just works and synergizes with every aspect of what this deck wants to do. The next champion is 3 copies of Katarina, the 3-cost 3/2 quick attack, and when you play her, you create a fleeting Blade's Edge in hand. And she levels up once I've struck once, and when she levels up, she also recalls to your hand. This will happen before damage as well, so if she attacks something that would actually kill her, she'll hit it and then bounce to your hand before it will get a chance to hit her. When she levels up, she becomes a 4/3, and whenever you play her, you rally, and then whenever she strikes, she recalls back to your hand. This is just a very aggressive creature that also levels up extremely easy, and then once she does, she essentially becomes a 4-mana spell to rally and give you extra attacks. So this lets our Battering Rams just keep swinging. It's not quite as good as Relentless Pursuit because there's more ways for your opponent to deal with it. Relentless Pursuit can just be stopped by Deny, whereas Katarina can be stopped by any kill spell. So that's the big problem with her, but she is a body that also attacks. It's very hard for her to die in combat, so she does synergize with the deck extremely well. From there, let's move on to the aggro package. The basic concept here is to just pressure your opponent very early on and get you to the point that your Battering Ram will be lethal after only a few swings without having to get to like your 3rd or 4th attack. And in addition, it levels up your Lucian by having a bunch of small creatures that die quickly, and it pulls a lot of removal from your Lucian or your Battering Ram onto these smaller creatures that your opponent has to deal with. The first creature here is 3 copies of Fleet Feather Tracker, a 1-cost 2/1, and when you summon an ally, this creature gains Challenger. The big thing here is an extremely aggressive 1-drop at a 2/1, and then more importantly, it's very easy to level up your Lucian since this forces your opponent's creatures to block. Not only that, but it can help you force damage through by pulling big creatures away off onto the Fleet Feather Tracker, so other creatures of yours can just punch through and hopefully kill your opponent. The next card is 3 copies of Precious Pet, a 1-cost 2/1 with Fearsome. This is a pretty simple creature. It's just super aggressive and pretty hard for your opponent to deal with early on. There's almost nothing that can stop it turn 1 from hitting your opponent, so it's almost a guaranteed 2 damage. They basically just have to have something like Blade's Edge, Guile, Thermogenic, or like a Shadow Fiend to block. So basically, it's just one of the most aggressive 1-drops we can have in our colors. The next card is 3 copies of House Spider, a 2-cost 2/2, and when you play it, you summon a Spiderling. This is just a 2-for-1 for 2 mana. It's very good for leveling up your Lucian because now it's not just 1 but 2 creatures that can die to trigger him, and it's just a good chump blocker. And even if it's not chump blocking, it's 3 damage for only 2 mana essentially, so it's going to pressure your opponent pretty quickly, and they're going to have to do something with it. And since it's 2 creatures, it's very hard for them to deal with it with a single answer. Like Static Shock will kill the Spiderling, but not the House Spider. Mystic Shot will kill the House Spider, but not the Spiderling. It's just hard for your opponent to deal with. The next card is 3 copies of War Chefs, a 2-cost 2/3, and support grant my supported ally +1/+1 this round. This is just a pretty big body, so it's kind of hard for your opponent to deal with it, because they're going to need something like Get Excited or like Thermogenic Blast to kill it on turn 2, and that means they do nothing turn 1. And it can buff all of your attackers. It can make it harder for your opponent to block Lucian and kill it, or block Katarina. It's harder for your opponent to deal Battering Ram, since you're going to be giving it 1 health and 1 power, so it gets him to a high point very quickly. And just in general demands a response for your opponent. It can get out of control really quickly, so your opponent's is going to be likely to block it and kill it, which will help enable your Lucian, or just fire a kill spell at it. Usually a pretty good one, like Thermogenic Blast, which is actually their most reliable way to deal with Battering Ram. So it's just a great card for drawing things out of your opponent. The next card is 3 copies of Senna, Sentinel of Light, a 3-cost 4/2 with quick attack. And the first time she sees an allied Lucian dies, she gains double attack and +1/+1. This is just an extremely powerful and safe 3-drop. Since she has 4 power and quick attack, it's very hard for your opponent to block and kill it. And then on the defensive end, she kills most things she blocks if you're trying to trigger your Lucian. And that brings us to the best part. She instantly levels up your Lucian. It's your fastest way to get Lucian up. Even if you can't get a bunch of blockers out or force your opponent to block and kill them, you can just slap one Senna down, and as soon as they deal with Senna, your Lucian levels up. And if they deal with Lucian instead, you're given this huge creature that hits for 10 a turn, basically. So they have to keep blocking it, and it'll be very hard for them to block it and kill it, since they'll have 5 power. So it's a good way to just start ripping through your opponent's blockers. Next up, we have the utility package. This is arguably our largest package, and it includes a bunch of different things from card draw to removal to extra attacks. The first card is 3 copies of Single Combat, a 2-cost fast spell where an ally and an enemy strike each other. This is just removal that helps enable your Lucian. Because basically you'll probably lose your creature in this, so that can help. If you use it with, say, a Senna, you auto-level up your Lucian, but even still, it just helps you get to the 4 dead creatures to level up your Lucian, and it gives us a clean answer to most things, since we have a lot of pretty aggressive creatures, so Single Combat should allow them to trade with most things. Our next up card is 3 copies of Arachnoid Sentry, a 3-cost 3/2, play, stun an enemy. Basically, this is a cost-efficient body. With a 3/2 for 3 mana, it's pretty aggressive. It can block fearsome units. The stun lets you force damage through when it comes down, usually. But the big thing is, this is basically to slow our opponent down so that we can reliably use something like Battering Ram for a win condition. Since our big card is a 6-drop, it's very possible for our opponent to get in under us, so Arachnoid Sentry basically fogs us a turn by shutting down our opponent's biggest attacker, and just buys us time. Next up, we have 3 copies of Relentless Pursuit, a 3-cost fast spell that rallies. This is just real simple. It's an extra attack. Best part is, if you can bank 3 mana going into your Battering Ram turn, you can slap a Battering Ram and cast Relentless Pursuit and get an extra attack, or get an attack on your opponent's turn. It just really synergizes with the deck perfectly. It's the absolute best card in the deck aside from Battering Ram. Next up, we have 3 copies of Vanguard Redeemer, a 3-cost 3/3, and when you summon her, if another ally has died this turn, you draw a card. The big idea here is we need a little bit of card draw, since we only have the 3 copies of Battering Ram. This is our way to keep drawing to it, hopefully, if we haven't found it already. And just in general, it's a great payoff for the Lucian strategy, where we're having things die all the time. This will help at least replace what we've lost. Next up, we have 1 copy of Redoubled Valor, a 6-cost slow spell, fully heal an ally, then double its power and health. In less threatening matchups, i.e. ones that don't have either Will of Ionia or Vengeance or Ruination, where most of the removal is going to come from direct damage, like Thermogenic Blast, this basically makes our Battering Ram unkillable. Since now it'll be whatever our power got up to. If it's only 1 attack, this still makes it an 8 and 24, which is basically impossible for our opponent to deal with if they don't have a clean answer. But it's still, since it's slow, it's pretty hard to pull it off, so we only have it as a 1-of. And then next up, we have 1 copy of Tiana Crownguard, an 8-cost 7/7 with Tough, and when you play her, you rally. This is just a huge, durable body, very hard for your opponent to kill, and it gives us another clean rally to get extra attacks with our Battering Ram. Since she's so high cost, we don't want a lot of these cards in our deck, but still the one of is a great way to get one extra rally into the deck, and it's a great blocker, and also just extremely threatening to our opponent with 7 power, so they'll have to block it often, and that just helps spread out their blockers and make it harder for them to get efficient blocks. Finally, we have 2 copies of Unyielding Spirit, an 8-cost fast spell. Grant an ally I can't take damage or die. This is just to give us an invincible Battering Ram. Since they nerfed it from burst to fast, it's a lot harder to pull off, but there's still many good matchups for this. The biggest thing we're scared of is something like Will of Ionia, but this gives us a clean answer if our opponents, say, playing Shadow Isle and they try to Ruination, or they try to Vengeance our Battering Ram. We can Unyielding Spirit in response with their spell and continue to get attacks through. And now we have an invincible blocker, so we can just keep blocking with it, we can keep attacking with it with no fear whatsoever. It's just a great card that synergizes with the deck perfectly. And that's the deck, so let's take it out for a spin, see how it does in some matches. Alright, game 1 here, and it looks like it's going to be against some sort of War Mother control deck. Since it's only Tryndamere, I'm guessing it probably is War Mother's call. I like this. Arachnoid Sentry could be good for stopping something like a Tryndamere or an Avarosan Hearthguard, so I think we'll keep this. And then this is an extremely aggressive start, so I like that. And then we have our Battering Ram, which we'll keep that when we can. We should be able to force this damage through. Alright, didn't have the 1-drop. Alright, we'll play another one. Now the real question is whether we run out this Senna. I'm thinking we probably don't. This is a pretty obvious setup for, say an Avalanche. He could Withering Wail here too, but yeah, I'm expecting an Avalanche. So running out the Senna just means we get no damage through. Oh, alright, Catalyst. Yeah, we'll play Senna then.
I'm what nightmares.
He might just untap an Avalanche, but we're okay with that. Ooh, House Spider's not bad. If only we had Lucian. This would have been a great Lucian setup. Okay.
No, Lucian.
Do we run out the House Spider, or do we run out the Katarina? I think this is probably House Spider here. The Katarina will probably just die to some amount of removal, whereas here we'll force a fair amount of damage through no matter what he does, which is the goal. Let's see what he does. Withering Wail would be kind of brutal, but we still get damage through, and that was the whole point. Multiple things. Vile Feast targeting both? That's alright. We don't really need to kill our opponent now anyways, since we're really just setting up for a Battering Ram kill. I think we might actually run this Katarina out, because we're trying to bait removal out of him for next turn.
Let the bloodshed begin.
Actually, no, we don't want to do that. We'll kill one of these. I really think he has Avalanche. I strongly feel he probably has Avalanche. That's what I'm really expecting to see. We're hoping he uses some big removal on this. That works too. No, we want to play Battering Ram.
Avarosans, stand together.
Yeah, we'll block here. He will have Ruination next turn, which I think is a big thing we have to be worried about.
Which is the blood?
I think we just go like this. We could swing with War Chefs, but it's gonna die if we do that. Yeah, we're just gonna go like this. Because this will still kill the Hearthguard. Oh, he's... Though if he was gonna do Ruination... If he was gonna do Ruination, he should have done it... He should have blocked. Because he was gonna lose his creatures anyways.
What will you have?
Okay, he's gonna heal himself. 8 mana, so that's not Ruination.
Let the bloodshed begin.
He could Vengeance our Battering Ram.
Leave your bags at the door.
I think we are gonna swing with War Chefs this time around.
Eat up, friend.
Because we're trying to Vanguard Redeemer to draw a card.
I've carved meat bigger than you.
Yeah, that's fine.
Let's talk about your tag.
This is still fine. Grasp of the Undying on Katarina. That would be the most unfortunate thing, but we're still okay with that. Box? Okay, that'll kill Katarina. That's unfortunate, but we still have a card draw off this Vanguard Redeemer. We're in reasonably good shape going forward. We have a pretty big Battering Ram. That was not ideal, but if he just plays Tryndamere here, we can just Arachnoid Sentry it. Which is what we'll absolutely do, rather than, I think we probably trade with this. I think he's setting up a Ruination. I think that's the only way he does an attack like that. Yeah, we don't need to play anything here. This Battering Ram attacking is lethal. I'm assuming he has Vengeance. Although if he does, he's really slow rolling it. Alright, well we got there. I guess he did not. Alright, looks like probably a variant of Keg Control would be my guess. With the Gangplank there. I doubt it's Deep Monsters strategy with that. Yeah, I'm actually pretty happy with this. House Spider is going to be really good, especially leading into a Lucian. Single combat can help force the Lucian to level up. Yeah, I think we can keep this. Biggest thing I'd mulligan there is maybe single combat. I think Battering Ram is too important to our strategy to be able to mulligan it. Yeah, we definitely play this House Spider, I think. Or maybe we play Lucian first. Yeah, we're gonna play Lucian. That's a pretty big swing if our opponent's gonna let that through. Maybe Vile Feast on the Precious Pet. Alright. Sure. That's gonna be pretty good for our Battering Ram turn. Okay, so we're just gonna pass here because I think there's a good chance he's planning to Vile Feast our Lucian, and single combat will solve that problem. Okay, so Precious Pet's dead regardless. So best thing we can do is kill this, and then Lucian will live. I was thinking Vile Feast, but Make It Rain works too. We're fine taking the 3 here. Oh, he's not even gonna swing. That's wild. Alright, so we're gonna play House Spider. He might have another Make It Rain, and by playing this, that means we have a chance that it doesn't hit Lucian. Make It Rain. Okay, Vile Feast on the Lucian. Alright, so I think we'll probably just have him kill something. Probably this, since we can't block it. We want to prevent him from getting plunder triggers. And we prevent him from getting the life gain too. So we're really off to the races on this one. Good chance this turn we can play Vanguard Redeemer to draw a card. If he swings with this Petty Officer. We'll see if he actually does it though. Because we only want to spend 3 mana because we want to go into the Battering Ram turn with a Relentless Pursuit up. No. Okay, well. Guess no Vanguard Redeemer, but that's fine. Tempting to play like Lucian and swing, but I think this is our best play. I think it's going to be pretty hard for him to deal with it. He might have Vengeance, but if he has anything other than Vengeance, it's going to be really, really difficult for him to stop this Battering Ram. We're not going to swing with these, though. Okay. That's fine. Let's see if he blocks. Okay, he is going to block. 3 mana, it's going to be at 8 health. Yeah, there's nothing he can really do this turn about it, so we are going to get our extra swing in. Now it's actually tempting to swing with House Spider. Well, I guess not. Alright, that's fine. That's still a lot of damage going through. Let's see if he can find an answer to Battering Ram next turn. I assume he doesn't have Vengeance, or else he should have used it before we attacked. If he does manage to kill it, though, we have a lot of card draw here. I think we'll probably run this Lucian out. Because now if he kills Battering Ram, then Lucian will at least get a trigger off it. And then if he kills Lucian, like that, we get to play a Vanguard Redeemer and draw a card. Which is what we were actually aiming for there. Ooh, that's about as good of a draw as we could get. Okay, so we won't play this House Spider yet.
Got a surprise for him.
Yeah, we're fine with that. Do we play House Spider? Yes. Because we're going to try to trick our opponent into blocking so we can draw cards. We don't even need to, but... let's see if he has found an answer to the Battering Ram.
You got legs. Use them.
This Tiana is a great find right now, though. Oh, nope, we just win. Alright, so we take another one. Guess he did not have a Vengeance. That's the power of the Battering Ram. Alright, looks like this is going to be ID Elusives. Haven't seen this deck in a while, but we'll see how it does against Battering Ram. Big problem here is that deck is very fast and aggressive, so that could be problematic for us. I think we keep this Precious Pet. I think we keep this Katarina. Not sure about Senna. Maybe Senna's actually better than Katarina. Alright, you know what? We're going to pitch this, and we're going to keep Senna. Because of the fact that she's got 4 power, it means she'll likely be able to trade with whatever he ends up going with. Yeah, this is a Fleet Feather Tracker start. I'm not expecting a creature from him, so it gets through, and then our next turn will turn it on, essentially. The fact that we're attacking on turn 3 is incredibly good for us. Especially when we get to run out these Precious Pets. The real question is whether we play the Senna before swinging next turn. I think we might swing first, and then play Senna. Oh, Unyielding Spirit is very good. Let's see what he's got. That is the least scary card he could have, so not terribly worried. Oh, that's a pretty good card.
Do not fear the shrouded path.
I walk your path alone.
So we're definitely willing to give up a Precious Pet here. If we cast Relentless Pursuit, we kill this Zed. So if he swings again, yeah, we're not terribly worried.
Our ancestors are watching.
Oh, especially with another creature off the top. We're definitely not worried about Relentless Pursuit now. Alright. We'll definitely give up this other Fleet Feather Tracker.
I will play my part.
Yeah, so we'll give up these two, maybe? Maybe Vanguard Redeemer is worth less than this. Because only Zed can block this.
Injustice!
It's a lot of unyielding spirits.
Done, they can talk. It's too late for you.
I assume he's going to try to save his Zed in some way. Okay, so the right play here is probably, since Senna's gonna die regardless. That's my thought anyways. Yeah, we want this Zed dead more than this Shadow Assassin. A little unfortunate that we're going into the next turn with an Unyielding Spirit, and the best we have is a Precious Pet. But if we drop Battering Ram here, we are in great position. Well, not quite. Let's see what he's got. Okay, not that scary yet. It can get there, though.
Night falls.
Alright, we're gonna need to draw some good stuff real soon, or we're in trouble. That works. Yeah, we have Unyielding Spirit. If he's got Purify, it doesn't work. Will of Ionia is the biggest problem here, but
Burn away the shadows.
You cannot escape.
he could back-to-back and then Will of Ionia. That's our biggest concern. Alright, we're just gonna go for this and see what he does. Now, he could deny it, he could Will of Ionia it. Yeah, that works. Yeah, we're in pretty rough shape. We've drawn all of our spells and none of our creatures, so that is extremely bad for us. We're in very rough position.
Do not fear the shrouded
That is probably game.
They cannot hide.
We go as one.
Okay, so we block here, and we go to 2. We're almost certainly dead here. With that much in his hand. Like, we've burned low on cards, and we still haven't found any of our real, like, powerful creatures. Yeah, that's game. Alright, GG. Just unlucky draws. Alright, looks like IPZ Karma Ezreal. This will be a bit sketchy. Will of Ionia is really bad for us. Basically, we just want to keep the aggro. So this is a pretty good curve out. Should be... Ooh, there's our Battering Ram. Like, this is not a Battering Ram game. Like, let's clear that up real quick. Like, this is not the game where Battering Ram's gonna probably be very successful. Unless we just force out so much removal from him early, and he just can't find the Will of Ionias. But that seems extremely unlikely. I think we're gonna run out House Spider. He didn't play Eyes of the Dragon, so he probably doesn't have it, but he might still have it and just not be playing it. Ooh, Claws, alright. Now the question is whether we run this Katarina out, knowing full well that she'll probably eat removal if we do. I don't think we want to run Precious Pets out, because then he just Static Shocks, kills 2 of them. We're going to lose this Blade's Edge, and probably our Katarina. He's probably going to Mystic Shot it, but... yeah. Saw that one coming from a mile away, but... it's alright. We have to force his cards out eventually anyways, so... He's probably
You
gonna
ask,
trade
but
here.
cannot see.
But we still forced through another 3 damage, so we're doing what we need to possibly win this matchup. I still think it's pretty bad for us, but we're at least on our path. We'll definitely run a Precious Pet out here.
Sounds dangerous.
So he's just gonna swing. He's gonna Mystic Shot. We're gonna play this Senna. We're gonna go to combat and swing with everything. We're just willing to pass here because, oh wow, he let it go into the ether. Well, that's good. Yeah, we're just gonna play this, see what he has, and then we're gonna play Senna. Well, that's not bad. That's not bad for us, I should specify. Yeah, we're just gonna play the Senna.
I'm what nightmares fear.
See if he has another Mystic Shot. Or like Thermogenic. Probably run Scotcha and get excited. Ah, yeah, there we go. Wow, he pitched a health potion? That's brave. Alright. We'll swing and get another 3 damage through. Probably. Might get 4 damage through. Alright, perfect. I can't believe he pitched health potion. Like, we're an aggro deck. That's really brave. This Ezreal is going to level up pretty quickly, though. He's not threatening our life pool that much.
One shot, all skill.
Alright. We are going to play a Battering Ram. Yeah, we'll pass first. See if he wants to lose the Mystic Shot. This is obviously a bait, but like he's going to fire it off.
Firing.
So, I think we probably don't go straight to... Well, he could play Yone. Alright. Yeah, we'll just go to combat. He could have Yone, and we don't want to get Yone. We did want to play Precious Pet plus another Battering Ram, but the downsides were pretty high, so... Let me force another 2 damage through. This Ezreal is so close to leveling up, though.
There is hope.
Now the question is, what do we want to play? I guess we'll play the Battering Ram again, and then we'll probably play Precious Pet. He's running low on cards, but Karma's going to start filling the hand again. If we can, we're going to play Sentry and stun this. Stun his Ezreal. We'll see if he lets us. Alright, he won't. That makes sense. So we could play this Lucian to force him to kill it. Yeah, we're going to play Lucian.
Push back the darkness.
Yeah, he's going to kill it. Yep. All according to plan. This Ezreal's so close, though. Double Battering Ram, though.
Rain from a cloudless
We're okay with that.
sky.
What we really want here is like a Relentless Pursuit or something. And we just have to hope this Karma's not generating anything useful. But we definitely want a Rally Spell, particularly Relentless Pursuit. That would be our best pick. He probably has a Deny, but we don't really know. Man, how scared are we of Yone? Because playing all this would be so good for us. I mean, they only really run one Yone these days. Alright, that's not that bad.
They don't know what they're up
There's the Ezreal level up.
Smell that? A fight's a cooking.
See what else he's got. This is so sketchy. Like, we're so unlikely to win from this position, but we'll see. I mean, it's not impossible, but I mean, he's so many cards here. He's got to have something. Did he cast 2 spells last turn? No, he didn't. Not 2 spells. So if he's holding Deep Meditations, that's pretty good for us because he can only cast like 1. He hasn't even cast 2 this turn. What's he got? If it's a bounce spell, he's got to bounce this. 3, 2, 1. Interesting.
Easy as 1, 2, 3.
That was really weird.
Hand to the face.
I'm not sure why he did that.
No one goes hungry.
Oh, he messed it up. He meant to do 3, 2, 1. But that still doesn't do much. So if he blocks these two, he dies. If he blocks here, I think he's still... No, he has to, like, lose the Ezreal.
You're between me and glory.
Let's see if he figures it out. He has to block here and here, I think. Yeah, I think he has to block here. He has to lose this Ezreal, or else he loses the game. He might not figure it out, but I think he should figure it out. He might run out of time, though.
Obstacle, meet gauntlet.
Yeah, he still lose the Ezreal. That wasn't what we thought, but, like, yeah, he still loses the Ezreal. We just have to hope he doesn't have another one. 25 cards left? It's not impossible. Though it's very possible with Karma flipping that he could just kill us with Burn. Moment of truth.
My spirit is
Okay, Relentless Pursuit off the top, and he doesn't have a counterspell. That's not Relentless Pursuit. Alright, let's see if he's got it. Seems like he does not have it. Trying to find something. Will of Ionia is what we're really scared of. Burn spells can be scary too because he doubles them up. If he draws Ezreal, we're kind of in trouble too because our health total is not particularly high, especially if he could play Ezreal this turn and swing. That's bad for us. We will definitely trade with that. 100% we will trade with your Karma. Not even a question. What's he got? Okay, yeah, so that'll only hit once. And then we'll play it. We'll play that plus Senna. He's down to 2 mana, so that's not great for him. We're gonna play Senna last because he could be holding Mystic Shot. I mean, with that many cards, he probably has it, right? Okay, he's gonna shuffle more copies of something in. We're not terribly worried about that. We'll just play the Senna and go to combat next turn and swing.
The dead, deader.
He has so many cards in hand, though. Oh my god, he has so many cards in his deck. What happened? Oh, the counterfeit copies. That's 8 copies plus the Karma Insights. Honestly, that could be bad for him, depending on what he shuffled in.
Missed your chance to run.
Let's see what he's got.
Has its cost. By force of will.
Bounce spells is what he's really looking for. Let's see, what else could he have other than bounce spells? Spirit's Refuge doesn't get him there unless he has a bunch of pump spells to go with it. Granting all my units Ephemeral, he still dies. Hex Tech, changing one of my Battering Rams into a garbage unit, that would work. About to find out. If something dies, we'll at least have this Vanguard Redeemer to draw something, which could be a Relentless Pursuit, and that'd be good for us. Slow spells don't get him out, so it's really just a question of what he's got. He could kill us with Burn. That's still possible. Okay, so there's a Deny gone. He's definitely trying to draw into something better than what he has. So I don't think he has it yet. Otherwise, why rummage?
Act with conviction.
This is definitely dicey here. So he does have Will. Double Will of Ionia. And kills Senna. Oh, and he loses the game. Wait. Oh, because he's at 1 HP. Oh, sweet. Yeah, we'll take that. Alright, perfect. And he dies to the House Spider. Just as the deck was intended to do. Alright, Ender tokens by the look of it. It seems to be pretty common now that they've dropped a lease for the Hecarim for the late game payoff. Do we want something more aggressive? I think if we're going Lucian turn 2, we probably pitch this War Chefs, and we just keep this, because this is a pretty aggressive curve out. And they don't... I mean, they have the taunt minions. That's what we're really scared of. Definitely unfortunate we didn't find the turn 1 play. Since our deck has so many 1-drops, it's a little unlucky, but, you know, sometimes it happens like that. I think we play Lucian.
There's a chill in the air.
And we're just going to take the 3 damage here. So this is more of an ephemeral take on the deck. So that's good to know. I think we'll play Katarina here. Ooh, there's our Battering Ram. Oh, we have a game plan. I think we might actually be able to level this Lucian up. It's hard to tell. Okay, we'll kill that. We're fine with killing that. That's fine. I mean, we don't want him to have more cards, but we're okay with it. And we're going to level this Katarina up. So now we have a rally spell for 4 mana. Unfortunate that Lucian can't do damage this turn, but I mean, that's fine. We're still working towards our win condition. Depending on what he does next turn, too, we might be in good shape to level up this Lucian, too. I have a feeling if he is really an aggro, like, ephemeral Endure Tokens kind of style deck, then we should be in pretty good shape to level up this Lucian, because they don't run a lot of removal. The best they have would be, like, Blighted Caretaker, which they can't really do this turn. This is one of the hardest decisions possible. It's deciding whether to block this. I don't think we do. Yeah, as much as we want to get towards leveling up this Lucian, I don't think that's good for us. That is pretty good.
Hand to the face. Can't fight on an empty stomach.
Yeah, we're set up pretty good here. Does he have a way to kill Lucian? That's the real question. Oh, looks like he does. Well, that sucks, but we'll live with that. Now, the question is, do we play another Lucian, or do we play this? So if we play Lucian, we could play Vanguard and draw a card? Is that better? Since he killed this Curse Keeper, and so he can attack with this next turn, I think that actually is better for us. So we'll run out Lucian, we'll play this Vanguard Redeemer, draw a card. We didn't really want to swing out this turn, like, by playing Katarina and swinging. Like, the only thing we could do is basically swing the Katarina, which probably would have been another free 4 damage, but I think setting up our board for the follow-up is actually worth more. Ooh, Unyielding could be good if we catch our opponent unprepared. Yeah, we're fine with this. We'll just play Battering Ram. Callista's fine. We can block that. We're fine taking the 2. Alright. So I think we're just gonna swing out on the next turn. Yeah, I don't think we really want to... It's tempting to play, like, Fleet Feather into Battering Ram, but I don't think that's ideal for us. So, what do we want to do? I think we just do... Swing like this.
No one goes hungry.
Wow, that's lethal already. Holy crap. And we have this Katarina for an extra attack. Yeah, our opponent's not in great shape here. And we can always do, like, Arachnoid Sentry plus Katarina. Yeah, this is definitely dicey for them. Even if they have Vengeance, they're in bad shape. That's the crazy part here. And, like, if he kills my units, he's just gonna level this Lucian up. Grasp of the Undying? Another one? Okay. That gets him, and all those are dead. Can we kill our opponent here? I think we might be able to. We can get like another 8 damage through, another 10 damage. Yeah, I think we have them.
Never for a thing.
Because this is lethal. Yeah, we did it! Alright, we got there against Endure Tokens.
See ya.
Alright, so in review, we went 4-1 in our matches. I actually played a total of 7 games and decided to keep the best ones, or the ones that I thought were the best, and we actually went 5-2 overall. We lost to basically the ID Elusives game we saw where our opponent just got some pretty good running, and then we lost to a pile of Freljord Demacia deck, our cards, where it had like Garen, Lux, I think a Tryndamere in it too, or it was some weird pile. There was like 4 different champions and all that, but he happened to top deck a Judgment, and it was just straight Judgment, which most people aren't running at this point, and it didn't have Fiora in the deck, so it was a weird inclusion, but happened to top deck it at the right time. It was a pretty big blowout. It was just a weird deck. I decided to disclude that one, as well as the win against Yasuo Tempo, because that one was also kind of a little bit weird, and I wanted to keep us down to a low amount of videos, or keep it to a short enough length. But basically, we went 5-2. We won against a number of decent decks, actually. We won against Ezreal Karma, we won against Endure Tokens, which Endure Tokens and Ezreal Karma have gone down in the meta a little bit, but they're still up there. And then Yasuo Tempo, which has kind of flirted with the fringe for a while. Keg Control, which is up at A tier on Mobalytics, so that's a pretty big deck. And then a weird Tryndamere control that's kind of like the Anivia/War Mother control deck, but instead of running really good payoffs like Anivia, it just ran Tryndamere. And we did pretty well. Battering Ram was actually a pretty reliable way of killing our opponents. We got lucky a few times where they didn't have the Will of Ionia, they didn't have the Vengeance or something like that. But I mean, it forces our opponent to say, hey, you have to have this one card or you're going to lose, because this is a really big creature and it's pretty hard for you to block it effectively without dying and all that. So the deck actually surprised me quite a lot. It did much better than I expected, and it's definitely played the best out of all of my Stiff Brews. Because I won a ton of games with this in testing and in games for the matches, and I didn't lose many, honestly. And I played against a handful of meta decks, both on the previous patch and the current patch, because I did start testing this deck on the previous patch before the Unyielding Spirit nerfs, which is the only thing that actually affected our deck. And it won against a handful of decks. Like, it won against BF Tempo Sejuani before the nerfs, so I was very surprised by the deck. As it turns out, a 0-12 for 6 mana that just keeps getting bigger every turn is pretty hard for our opponents to deal with. The deck is just a lot of fun. I'm going to be honest, it's a lot of fun with all the constant attacking, and you just have so many aggressive low drops that it's pretty easy to get under your opponent's strategy and just basically force them onto the back step. So by the time Battering Ram resolves, it's just really hard for your opponent to deal with it, because they've been burning through removal, just trying to keep up with your low aggression. And I think that's really what allows the deck to pull off. So I highly recommend this deck if you're looking for just a really fun take on Noxus Demacia that most of your opponents will not be ready for. Battering Ram's just a really neat card, and nobody's ready for it, it seems. So it's definitely pretty fun. And Lucian and Katarina are both pretty fun champions to play with. So And with Senna too, you really get the Lucian experience. So it's definitely cool, and it lets you play a number of cards that either don't see play or have kind of fallen off a bit. Things like Redoubled Valor and Tiana Crown Guard, and even Unyielding Spirit's fallen down quite a bit now. So it's just it's a pretty cool deck that lets you play a bunch of cards that you might not otherwise see. So I do highly recommend it. So thanks for checking out the video. I hope you liked it. Let me know in the comments below if you'd like to see more games, less games. It feels like 5 is a good number because it gives us an uneven record in a sense, so we can see if it's like more wins than losses. That seems pretty balanced. I know I actually ended up playing 7 games, but I'm trying to keep the video down to a relatively short length rather than being some of my longer videos. But I don't know if that's what people want or if that's just my idea. Like, if we want the longer videos with more games in it, especially since this is best of ones, like I could see us doing like 7 games or more. But I'm just trying to figure out the right number. So Let me know what you think about that, and let me know what you think about the deck. I'd love to hear if people have tried it out, what their experiences with it are, if they've made tweaks to it, little things that they've done. This deck's actually pretty fun. I'm probably going to keep playing this after the video, to be honest, because it's a really neat deck. It's a very different take on the whole Lucian rally kind of decks. Yeah, so thanks for checking out the video. Hope you liked it, and enjoy!